la chulada? ¿Cómo está? It's Poppy. I'm making this tape so we can read together. And today we're going to read Guess How Much I Love You. I know you have this book. So here we go. Guess How Much I Love You by Sam McBratney and illustrated by Anita Jern. Little nut brown hare who was going to bed held on tight to big nut brown's hair very long ears. He wanted to be sure that big nut brown hare was listening. Guess how much I love you, he said. I don't know. I don't think I would guess that, said big nut brown hare. This much, said little nut brown hare, stretching out his arms as wide as they would go. Look how big his arms are. Big nut brown hare had even longer arms. I love you this much, he said. That is a lot. The little nut brown hare. I love you as high as I can reach, said little nut brown hare. Look how he's stretching up oh so high. I love you as high as I can reach, said big nut brown hare. Look how high he stretches. That's quite high, thought little nut brown hare. I wish I had arms like that. Then little nut brown hare had a good idea. He tumbled upside down and reached up the tree trunk with his feet. There he goes, up the tree. I love you all the way up to my toes, he said. And I love you all the way up to your toes, said big nut brown hare, swinging him up over his head. Look at him swinging him up so high. I love you as high as I can hop, laughed little nut brown hare, bouncing up and down and up and down. Look at him bouncing all over the place. But I love you as high as I can hop, smiled big nut brown hare, and he hopped so high that his ears touched the branches above the tree. So big. That's good hopping, thought little nut brown hare. I wish I could hop like that. I love you all the way down the lane as far as the river, cried little nut brown hare. All the way down the trail to the river below. I love you across the river and over the hills, said big nut brown hare. That's very far, thought little nut brown hare. He was almost too sleepy to think anymore. Then he looked beyond the thorn bushes, out into the big dark night. Nothing could be further than the sky. He's looking way far out. I love you right up to the moon, he said, and he closed his eyes. Oh, that's far, said big nut brown hare. That is very, very far. That's a long, long way. Big nut brown hare settled little nut brown hair into his bed of leaves. He leaned over and kissed him goodnight. He laid him down, and then he gave him a good night kiss. Then he laid down close by and whispered with a smile, "I love you right up to the moon and back." And that's the end of Guess How Much I Love You. And I got one more book for you today. I'm going to get it. I know you have this one too. Corduroy by Don Freeman. Corduroy is a bear who once lived in the toy department of a big store. Day after day, he waited with all the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. The store was always filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things. But no one ever seemed to want a small bear in green coveralls. Then one morning, a little girl stopped and looked straight into the Corduroy's bright eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she said, "look, there's the very bear I've always wanted. Besides, he doesn't look new. He's lost a button to one of his shoulder straps. So there he is. He's ready to be picked up. And this little girl wants him." Corduroy watched them sadly as they walked away. "I didn't know I lost a button," he said to himself. "Tonight I'll go and see if I can find it." Later that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were shut and locked, Corduroy climbed carefully down from his shelf and began searching everywhere on the floor for his lost button. See him searching on the floor? Suddenly, he felt the floor moving under him. Quite by accident, he had stepped onto the escalator, and up he went. Could this be a mountain? He wondered. I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain. And there he goes, up the escalator. He stepped off the escalator as it reached the next floor, and there before his eyes was the most amazing sight. Tables, chairs, lamps, and sofas, and rows of beds. This must be the place, Corduroy gasped. I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace. He wandered around admiring the furniture. This must be a bed, he said. I've always wanted to sleep in a bed. And up he crawled onto the large, thick mattress. There he goes, up on the mattress. And once he saw something small and round. "Why, here's my button," he cried, and he tried to pick it up. But like all the other buttons on the mattress, it was tied down very tight. He's trying to get it off. It's not going to go. Corduroy didn't know it, but there was someone else awake in the store. The night watchman was going through his rounds on the floor above. When he heard the crash, he came dashing down the escalator. "Now, who in the world did that?" he exclaimed. "Somebody must be hanging around here." He flashed his light under and over sofas and beds until he came to the biggest bed of all. And there he saw 2 fuzzy brown ears sticking up from under the cover. Little bitty ears right there. "Hello," he said. "How did you get upstairs?" The watchman tucked Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator. There they go, back down the escalator. And he set him on the shelf in the toy department with the other animals and dolls. Corduroy was just waking up when the first customers came into the store. In the morning, and they were looking at him with a wide, warm smile, was the same little girl he'd seen only the day before. The same little girl that wants to pick him up, take him home. "I'm Lisa," she said, "and you're going to be my very own bear. Last night I counted what I saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I could bring you home." "Shall I put him in a box for you?" the sales lady asked. "Oh, no, thank you," Lisa answered, and she carried Corduroy home in her arms. She ran all the way up 4 flights of stairs into her family's apartment and straight to her room. Look at her go so fast. Corduroy blinked. There was a chair and a chest of drawers. Alongside a girl-sized bed stood a little bed just the right size for him. The room was small, nothing like the enormous palace in the department store. Just a small bedroom. "This must be home," he said. "I know I've always wanted a home." Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew the button on his coveralls. "I like you the way you are," she said, "but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder strap fastened." And there she is. Just like Mama, she's sewing. "You must be a friend," said Corduroy. "I've always wanted a friend." "Me too," said Lisa, and gave him a big, big hug. And that is the end. I hope you liked it, Chula. I love and I miss you very much. And I can't wait to come home and see you, Mama. You be good, and I think of you always, honey. I love you. Bye-bye.